Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm so excited to be going through this deck because I just discovered in watching a YouTube channel last week, I believe it was Mad Witch, and she was reviewing this deck. I had no idea. I've had this deck for 2 years, and on the box there was nothing for me to identify it by. And I haven't been one that's been keeping up with Kickstarter decks, but I believe it's Giselle at Mad Witch on her channel said this was a Kickstarter deck. And I got it, as I say, 2 years ago in a thrift store, opened it up, found the cards. The cards were all there, but no identifying marks at all, no book to go with it. So I was sort of stumped. It's been sitting, as I say, for about 2 years on my shelf. And I had no idea that apparently it is called the Book of Shadows, the Lost Code of Tarot. It was a limited edition. It was crowdfunded and picked up by Lo Scarabeo. Now, this box has no indication of the printer, nothing. So it did suggest that there were 78 cards, a novel, and it would have had a certificate of the number in the sequence of 300 decks that were created. Now, I know it's no longer available, but I found it for sale on a site, and it was called innerlightshop.ca, and they were selling it for $62.99 Canadian, and I saw that today. It might be a used deck. I didn't see anything mentioned about that, but I know that Andrea Aste is now the artist and creator of this deck, and it is a Marseille Style deck. So let's have some fun. I can't give you all the information because I don't have a book in my hot little hands, but we'll make do with what we have. So this is I guess the best find I've ever found at a thrift store. And this is the backs, quite nice, really good cardstock. You can see it's antique looking, and it has that dreamy world brought to the Marseille style images. There are 2 extra cards, and fortunately, they are here. But having visited some thrift stores over my life, you do find that it depends on who's sorting. So maybe there was a book, but it fell out, or somehow it was put in someone's collection on a different shelf. Some people cleaned up the property of the owner, and it ended up in a thrift shop, because I can't see why anyone would want to get rid of this. So our 2 cover cards, one being a fortune teller, and the other one looks like a ship on the water. So let's have a little go through. Let's zoom in. And what you're looking at there is the Fool. And I have found that some of the images have 1 eye or 2, but there's a certain mysterious quality to this Fool. We still have his dog, and he still carries his knapsack there on his shoulder. We have the flower, not in his hand, but the flower's there. And a lot of the images have this expanse of being out in nature, which is really, really nice. The line work in here is beautiful. So this is what I've discovered so far and what I can share. The numbers, this little L up here represents a 1, and you're looking at the Magician. So no eyes here. I guess he's using all of his senses to tap into the energy. There is our High Priestess. Our Empress. Very elegant. Our Emperor. Now, it's so deceiving looking at this. for me because I see a jester's hat here and it looks like a person, but this is actually part of the head of the emperor. But up here again, you see almost another head figure. It's just layered, I guess, like the emperor. There is our Hierophant. And I'm just noticing now these hands of the two supplicants below here. Our Lovers. So we don't have Cupid, but we do have the arrow. And it looks like he's got a flower that he's about to present to his bride or his girlfriend. Our Chariot. Really liking the mustache and the abs here. And that would be our Justice card. The position of the body shows me that she might be a little bit flexible, not as strict and stern as some of the Justice cards. This would be our Hermit, very Eastern feel. And we've got our navigation symbol there, the hourglass. Our Wheel of Fortune. And you can see that there's different creatures all around the wheel. That's our Strength card. And the deck appears longer because it's a little bit thinner than a normal card. This is mine. Yeah, a little bit thinner. There's our Hanged Man that should be going that way. I was scanning through them to see the facial features. Again, there's no eyes there because I guess he's gone inward. Our Death card. So you got a couple of heads down here. Possibly some bones, feathers. There's our Temperance card. Our Devil card. Interesting that the two figures down here, there's not a male and a female there, two males. Our Tower card. And our Star. And I really like that the ibis, I call it, in the tree here was included. Our Moon card. I think the moon is fabulous, the symbolism here. And I found this different, like a man-made constructed pond versus the one we're used to seeing. That's our Sun card. Our Judgment. I know this is a coffin, but it almost looks like they're floating on an afternoon's excursion on a pond. Kind of cool. Relaxed. And our World card. Now, I believe these are the coins we're getting into. Our 2. The 3. Now, these would be able to be done as reversals, although some people who do Marseille don't do reversals. Our 4. I think they're very pretty. And I know he likes the magical, the fantastical, and I would think these would shuffle very well. I guess the upright way might be that way. I do reversals, so I'm always looking at that. That would be our knave, our knight, our queen, and our king. Almost like a roulette wheel up there. Okay, and now we're on to our swords. Easy to pick out what number it is, even without the number there. And they don't have that squashed feeling like some Marseille decks do when they add in all the numbers that you need to get to 10. Even this seems to be a little bit airy. Our knave, our knight, our queen, and our king. Almost like a spider web around his collar there. And these will be our batons or our wands. The ace. It's kind of nice with all the doodle type imagery because it's not just a boring baton. And not all the backgrounds are exactly the same on the cards. They're unique. Our knave. Gorgeous knight. Our queen. And our king. Bit of a combative side to those two. Okay, so we're on to the cups. Our ace. 2, I like the champagne type bubbles in there. And the little moths or butterflies really add something to it that's light, happy. And there is our Knave, our Knight, very Dr. Seuss-like, our Queen, and our King. So, now that I know the history of the deck, that makes it a little bit more thrilling. There's nothing worse than having a deck that you can't put a name to, an origin to. So there you go. There are the backs again. Delightful. And that is The Book of Shadows, Lost Code of Tarot by Andrea Aste. So if you do your hunting around and you really, really want this deck, there is that one site I mentioned earlier that's offering it. Have a great day.